Have you ever sat down to do the work you've been putting off, maybe for the past couple of hours or even days in some cases, but you just couldn't start? You know what you needed to do, you had the resources in front of you to get it done, and you weren't even tired, but you still just couldn't start. Maybe you're like this, because I was like this myself, but at the end of this video, I guarantee that will never happen again. I'm going to be teaching you this simple 5-minute strategy that you can implement before your work, and it's called synaptic priming. It's a scientific-backed technique to ensure that procrastination doesn't stand a chance when you utilize this properly. Let's get into it. Hello, I'm Dylan, I'm 18 and I coach unproductive people to turn productive once and for all, as I personally spent over 5,000 hours or 210 days straight wasting my time on Call of Duty and other such video games. I had aspirations for business, for education, for doing well in school, but I couldn't actualize it because I wasn't productive. It sucked. I was in rut of procrastination and no one was there to scoop me out when I needed it. This is why I've made this channel. Now I help people become productive, beat procrastination once and for all, as I personally turn my life around to effortlessly and easily breeze through large banks for my work, for my business, for my education, and for my personal development goals. And even to this day, sometimes I will still procrastinate at the start. See, once you're into the task, once you're past 5 to 10 minutes of actually getting into the flow of the work you need to get done, the rest feels easy. That's the case for me. That's the case for a lot of people. But what can we do to make sure we actually get into the work without this friction, without this hesitation, without this procrastination that's stopping us from achieving what we want to achieve? The dreams, the financial aspirations, the helping others all lie behind this synaptic priming routine. It takes 5 minutes and it's super simple. So what is synaptic priming? It's basically visualizing the process going smoothly. A good example of this is if you were to go into a business meeting or a meeting that you know is important, and just before you go in, you visualize the meeting going well, them shaking your hand, them signing the deal, them signing the paper that's going to make you money. And then when you go in, you have an instilled sense of confidence because you've already seen the meeting go the way you want it to go. And essentially, we're using this mental simulation to get the same result in productivity. We imagine the first 3 tasks and how they go through smoothly, get us into the work without one single degree of friction, and it means we can jump into it with this scientific advantage on our side. So the way it works is really interesting. Essentially, you're just activating the parts of the brain that are going to be used in the work you're doing before the work, so when you get into it, it's less novel. You don't have the novelty threat response of something new that seems difficult and it swamps your mind, making you think you can't do it. And it also warms up your prefrontal cortex and activates these same synaptic pathways that are going to be utilized when you start the work you're doing. Because the studies show, and there were studies in 1994 to 2002 of pianists playing the piano, but they weren't actually playing the piano. They strapped their brains up, they told them to visualize playing the same song that I always play, and the things that fired inside their brain, the synaptic pathways, the prefrontal cortex activation was all on par, completely the same as if they had the piano right in front of them. So the idea behind it is that this mental simulation of the thing you're going to do gives you a warm-up, a head start, an advantage to beat procrastination, because your brain is essentially doing exactly what it's going to do when you get into the work. So when you actually do get into it after this visualization, you're more likely to complete it, you'll find it easier to get into it, and you'll be better at doing the work because your brain has already got all the resources it needs allocated, awake and alert for you to do it maximally productively. So how can we use this synaptic priming routine? And it's super simple. But just before we get into the actual routine itself, I have a unique opportunity just for you. I'm working with people in the top link of the description to change their lives in just 30 days. In that 30 days, I'm guaranteeing you 20 out of 30 days productive, or I'll work with you 100% for free until you get that result. It's risk-free on your end, and I'm guaranteeing productivity. You'll get my exclusive strategy, you'll get my new app that I've just finished coding, a free physical planner, my personal phone number so I can work with you whenever you need my help and hold your hand through the trials and tribulations of productivity. If you're genuinely looking to change and make your life more productive, efficient, and effective, make your work higher quality, and make your life more consistently successful, then the top link in the description is just for you. Check it out if you're interested. But let's get into the actual routine behind it. So just start, before any deep or important task, you close your eyes, you sit still, and you breathe deeply for 1 minute. This down-regulates the parasympathetic nervous system, makes you relax, makes you deeply in control of the emotions you're feeling. And then you visualize the environment. You think about what position the camera's going to be in, what position your notes are going to be in, what position your journal's going to be in. Maybe your headphones are there, your headphones are on, and you visualize every criteria of what you're going to do. The keyboard you type on, the noise it makes, the feel of your seat on your back, what you see, what you hear, what you feel, what you smell, what you can touch, every single vivid detail you visualize so your brain gets this accurate depiction of the work you're going to do, of the workspace you're going to do the work at. And then you mentally rehearse the first 3 steps. You sitting down, you opening the computer, you getting to work immediately on the task you need to get done, whether it be working, coding an app, working, writing a document, doing the revision you need to do to ensure you get the grades you want in university. Rehearse the 3 first steps to really pre-activate the synapses to ensure that when you actually do the work in real life and not in this visualization, you have a warm-up, a head start, and an advantage over the competition because you can just dive straight in. And then visualize the feeling of completion. You finally click full stop, you close the screen, you finish recording, you finish journaling, you finish coding the app, and everything runs smoothly and comes together just as you imagined. You're ready to get into the work, and you'll find it 10 times easier to dive in without procrastination because of this one synaptic priming routine. I hope you found this useful, and again, if you're trying to get my help, if you're going to work with me one-to-one, then the top link in the description is just for you. Check it out if you're interested. If you need more help, this playlist has 148 productivity guides to help you turn productive. Check it out if you're interested. Thank you for watching.